So you never knew Biggie. You never had a personal beef with Biggie. You was just holding down Pac.
Definitely, man. It was that. You know what I mean? My loyalty was with Pac, man. He came and got me from the middle of the hood. You know what I mean? I was 13, 14 years old selling crack, trying to sell drugs. Pac took me from that situation. So my loyalty was with him. You know what I mean? Anybody he had beef with, I'm blindly just following that. You know what I mean? I never met Biggie personally. I never met, some of the Outlawz met him. You know what I mean? They knew him before the things went sour. So when I came around, when I first came around, they were still cool. You know what I mean? But when Pac got shot in New York, that's when everything started changing. That's when I seen that he was like, you know what? You know, that these dudes got, you know, Pac never really said Biggie had something to do with it. He was just upset that he felt Biggie knew it was going to happen and why he didn't step in it. That was Pac thing the whole time. You know what I mean?
So that's very important, right? Because when you hear who shot you and all that, people try to insinuate that Biggie did that. And I wanted to ask you, did Pac really think Biggie set him up in that studio or not?
You know, Pac was like, man, he felt, you know, Pac was like, man, I get invited to the studio. This was his exact words. I get shot, I get robbed. And it seemed like majority of the top MCs of New York is upstairs in the studio at that time. And it felt fishy. So Pac's like, I want answers. So Pac's situation was like, the reason why he was really mad at Biggie, because Biggie was saying, you know, we from the streets, you from the streets. Biggie was saying he's the king of New York. So if you the king of New York and I'm getting robbed and shot in your territory, you might not have nothing to do with it, but streets talk. At least let me know who done it. You know what I mean? And words was getting back to Pac that Biggie knew this was going to happen. So, but Pac never felt he set him up. He was just like, look, man, you the king of New York. I need my answers. You knew this was going to happen to me. Why didn't you tell me? So that's what Pac was on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think, unfortunately, with both of them, if this same type of shit would have happened 2020, I think they both would have lived. But being that they were like the first to have this epic beef and war, unfortunately, they became martyrs for hip hop. So Biggie was my brother, right? So I know Biggie since day one, right? And he was such a beautiful guy. I'm telling you the truth. He's such a beautiful guy, man. He was a nice guy. And there was times, I'm not gonna lie to you, there was one time Pac and Suge and everybody came to New York and they was flexing crazy hard. I'm gonna tell you something you might not want to hear, but me and you,
I want to hear.
Real deal. So and D-Rock, if you're listening, you know, you told me before many a times that I should say the story, so I'm gonna say the story. So they over here, me, I didn't know I was gonna be Fat Joe now. So I got one song out, Biggie's my man, and I'm still wild for the night. Right? So I run up on Big and I'm saying, yo, Big, they in town. Like, let's go step to them niggas. I had 20 niggas with me. Let's go ride on these niggas. And Big was like, yo, I'm not even beefing with these niggas like that. Like, it ain't like I could tell you as a man. And this is voila. You understand what I'm saying? That Biggie looked at me and told me, yo, it ain't no real beef with them, Joe, like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no beef with. Well, at that particular time, that's what he told me. You know what I'm saying? He was like, nah, Joe, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? And so I heard it from his mouth that he wasn't really on it like that. You know what I'm saying? He knew I was wild. He knew I had, you know, you gotta understand Fat Joe 1992 was not Fat Joe now.
For sure.
you understand what I'm saying? And
for sure.
And so what's crazy is I heard you in an interview recently. Right? So you know I never told these stories. Yo, let me tell you something, Napoleon. I tell stories and everybody thinks I'm full of shit. Like they think, yo, this is too much. Guy's a liar. No, for real. He's a liar. He's straight a lie. There's no way it's true. And then sooner or later, like when I tell you that story about Big Daddy Kane, I told that story to I think Pat Poose, because it's his favorite rapper. And somebody said, yo, Fat Joe, stay lying. And Big Daddy Kane hit him back on the comments like, nah, he telling the truth. right? So like this story, I never told nobody about this. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I heard you tell the story on an interview yourself, and I said, damn, like, you know, so I said, yo, let me get Napoleon on here. And so what made you do this interview when you was talking about Fat Joe, let's just say?
Yeah, shout out to Steakxeggs Bell, man, for making this happen. You know, Steakxeggs Bell is family, man. And also, you know, the interview was with a YouTube show, The Art of Dialogue. They do a lot of stuff about Pac. They try to clarify a lot of things about, you know, about Pac and his life and things like that. And I think I seen a post or some comments on that, on The Art of Dialogue, was when you mentioned how you was doing an album with Biggie. You did an album with Biggie, but after Pac died, you scratched the album. So, you know, Pac got some die-hard fans, and they crazy. You know what I mean? So I was reading the comments, and I'm like, these jokers are crazy, but they don't know that, for example, when Pac did hit him up, you know what I mean? And he said, anybody in New York that want it, bring it. So from the street standpoint of view, real street dudes that's in the music industry going to reply. And Pac know that, you know what I mean? Pac understand that's how it comes. So when I heard that you did the song with Biggie, the album, I told people, I said, look, that's that's what he's supposed to do. Everybody that know you, they know you verified, you know what I mean? You're authentic. Everybody know that, you know, they know. I remember when you first came out with the video, you was in the Bronx. This one, rappers was putting real guns in the videos. You had the army, the Green Army joke. Yeah, you know what I mean? So I remember you from way back then, and the stories have circulated. Steakxeggs Bell, so we knew, you know what I mean? So I was telling the people, I said, look, man, Fat Joe, a real street dude. You know what I mean? So when Pac came at New York, it's only right that everybody in New York ain't soft. Everybody in New York ain't gonna keep their mouth shut. Pac was ready for that, you know what I mean? But it was respect that you done, what you done by, you know, scratching the album, saying I'm not gonna put it out. So, and I had to explain to the people that even Pac told us, I heard it out of his mouth, that when he was up north in Clinton, he said that Joe Peoples, he was like, man, Fat Joe People held me down. You know what I mean? Pac said it. He said, man, Fat Joe had some people that was locked up. They showed me a lot of love. And I tell the people all the time.
I'm going to tell you how that happened, right?
Yeah.
So one day when Pac was locked up, I was doing an interview on Hot 97, and they had, you could tell me if I'm talking too much or you're uncomfortable. You tell me.
Nah, this your thing, man. Do your thing, bro.
No. So I'm on Hot 97. They asked me, yo, what's up with the East Coast? And you know, I ain't gonna lie to you, I was mad ignorant at the time, and I was like, Doc, for real. I was like, yo, I don't know how niggas diss in New York, you know, that type of talk. And it had got back to me that dudes that was locked up with Pac heard it, and so now they was talking like, we gonna have beef with Pac because we heard Joe on the radio talking about he got a problem with Pac. So I believe it was Greg Nice, and he was real tight with Pac.
Yeah.
So Greg Nice hit me up, and he told me, yo, I didn't want to go that way. You know, I can't even go there, because I never told this story completely. So Greg Nice came up to me and said, yo, you know, you talking and the Spanish niggas trying to make it real uncomfortable for Tupac up there. You know what I'm saying? Because you said on the radio this and this and that. So what had happened was I really didn't have beef with Tupac personally. So I made the calls and let them niggas know, like, yo, like anybody else would do for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was just repping New York or whatever the case may be. Plus, I also knew that Biggie ain't really wanted to go there personally. So I made the call and I told them niggas, like, yo, if anything, hold him down. Be like, nah, like, you know what I'm saying? It's Tupac. And then that's what he must have told you, like, Fat Joe People was holding him down in that.
That was love, man. He you know what I mean? He remember that. And I was also, you know, in the story, in the interview, I also had to bring up, and Steakxeggs Bell forgot about it. You might not remember, man, after Pac died, when you came to LA, this was a time, man, the Outlawz, we was considered the troublemakers of the music industry. You know, every time we go into a club or get invited, we were starting fights. So nobody wanted us on the radio stations. Nobody invited us to no events. And when you came to LA, you called us up, was like, man, I'm on a radio station, come up here. We went up to the radio station, Steve LaBelle, all of us, and you was on the radio. You like, look, man, this is the West Coast. Y'all saying y'all got love for Pac, and these is homies right here. You know what I mean? And y'all blackballing them pretty much. So you was looking out for us when it was unexpected because you from New York. You know what I mean? We doing music, even though we from Jersey, most of us, we doing music, you know, going at New York cats. But when Pac passed away, some dudes that we thought was family pretty much turned their back. You reached out to us, was like, yo, y'all come on a radio station. Then when we was in New York, you might not remember this, you had an album release party. You know what I mean? You have an album release party. I was there, the Outlawz. My whole hood was there. Jersey was there. But everybody you can name was in that at your party. I'm talking about Mobb Deep. People that we supposed to have beef with was there. You know what I mean? And you was like, we never performed in New York. So you came to us and you was like, look, man, I want y'all to perform at my party.
Ain't that a fucking crime? All your records get played in New York. Y'all never got to perform in New York.
We never got to perform.
Crime for hip hop. It's a crime. But yeah, finish. I saw Napoleon.
Yeah, so you was like, so this one I knew you was 100% solid. You know what I mean? You was like, look, man, y'all can perform whatever y'all want. Y'all want to perform Hit 'Em Up, because Hit 'Em Up was still controversial. It was still, you know what I mean? You was like, if you want to perform Hit 'Em Up, I got y'all. This New York, y'all with me, y'all my guests, ain't nothing gonna happen to y'all.
Nothing.
And you was like, you know who in the building, but I'm gonna leave that to y'all. You was like, but it's good to be mature. You know what I mean? You was like, it's good to be mature and maybe not do it, but I'm gonna let y'all make that decision. And so we huddled, you know what I mean? And we was like, you know what I mean? Maybe it ain't a good idea to try to come to New York and people's backyard, you know what I mean? We guests here and try to do that song that's gonna steer controversy. So we didn't do it. And you was like, man, y'all really did something mature. You know what I mean? So that's when I realized, like, this dude's solid. You know what I mean? And it took a dude from the East Coast to New York, who we was once going at, to show us love, to bring us back, you know what I mean? To take us on tour, to do songs, you know what I mean? To get on the radio. So that was love, man. You know what I mean?
Yo, let me explain something. It's about music. It's about the culture. It's about hip hop. Sure. I was brought up by the pioneers to embrace them and love them for the culture. Just like y'all, I share a sweet spot for Little Kim and season them. So even with Little Kim, you know, I got a little, not beef, but you know, Nicki Minaj never liked me again because I was in the Breakfast Club, and they was like, when she was going at Little Kim, and I was like, yo, that's Little Kim, B. Like, I was like, you know, like, that's big. When I see her, I see Biggie. There's just no way around it. And I'm like, you know, sure. Kim opened the door, whatever. So I always embrace them just like you, because you know what? I don't like being fake. I've never been fake, right? So there's no way I could be loving Biggie, right? And then he passed away, and I could treat Little C's or Kim less than. If he's really my brother and I know he loved them, I gotta show him love. And so, like, we over the East Coast, West Coast beef. Tupac is dead. I know he loved y'all. Hip hop love y'all. New York plays your music. I'm like, yo, fuck it. Like, let's bring out the Outlawz. Let's let them get some burn on the stage. This is hip hop.
Yeah, man.
And
that was a monumental night, bro.
Huh?
That was a monumental, historical night. You know what I mean? We never forget that, bro. That was historical, bro.
And I mean it when I say nothing was gonna happen to you. They all looked at
me. We
like,
knew, bro.
Bringing them out.
The Puerto Ricans was deep, man. We seen it. You know what I
mean? Joe bringing them out, you can forget it. Like, it's a done deal. Let's rock out. Let's party to the songs.
Yeah, so we seen it, man.
With Death Row, you brought up Death Row, right? And everybody always says, yo, Tupac wanted to leave Death Row. Him and Suge had problems. Every little movie I ever seen or something, it makes it look like. And I don't know. I'm waiting for you to answer the right answer. And you Pac's right-hand man, but it didn't look like Tupac had a problem with Suge Knight to me.
He didn't. He didn't. You know what I mean? Suge and Pac, they was homies. You know what I mean? Suge looked at Pac like a little brother. I never heard Pac you know what I mean, say he was leaving death row. We lived with Pac up until he passed away. Like, we lived in the same house with him. We watched his every move. We, you know what I mean, he shared intimate talks with us, everything. So if he was leaving death row, he would have let us know. You know what I mean? Pac, what he was trying to do, he was trying to start his own record label under death row. You know what I mean? That's why the Outlawz, we never signed to death row until after Pac died, because Pac used to say, I don't want y'all to sign to death row, because once I do Machiavelli record or Euthanasia Records, I forget what he was naming it, it was going to be under death row. So from what I seen, he wasn't, you know what I mean, leaving death row. You know, him and Suge had a good relationship. They was tight. You know, it was love.
And it showed to me, you know, from me, you know, I think I'm a good judge of character, but it showed to me that they had like a real bond, you know, a brotherhood bond. And I know, because when I took Pun under the wing and he was my little brother, and people can't tell me how I felt about Pun. Like, I love him so much. When I met him, I'm his big brother. He my little brother. And and so, like, you know, we's always gonna big each other up and blow each other up. And it's just so many misconceptions, and some people be like, you know, people crazy. So they like really be, people are crazy. You know,
real, bro.
You know people are crazy. Like, you done heard some shit that you done said to yourself, like, Jesus Christ, like, how they thinking of that now? Like,
fact.
You know what I mean? Because you know, we hear stuff like, yo, Suge Knight killed Tupac. This shit don't make no sense.
It don't make sense. You know what I mean? For sure, man. We hear that, but you know what I mean? The streets know what happened. On the West Coast, we knew exactly what happened. You know what I mean? Like, when Suge after Pac got shot while he was in the hospital, Suge took me and a few other Outlawz. We was in a hotel. I think we went in the kitchen or somewhere on another level. He lifted up his shirt, man. He had a bullet in his chest. Bullet skinned his head. You know what I mean? There's no way.
There's no way to
if you want to kill your man. Yeah, you can't. If you want to kill your man, you ain't gonna say spray the car out. You know, Suge half the car. He's taking up half the car. You know, so he ain't gonna tell nobody to spray the car up. You know what I mean? And then his boys, you know what I mean, they shot back. A lot of people don't know that. That some of the people from the entourage, the entourage from Suge, you know what I mean? And in some police reports where they say, you know, they shot back. Bunchery and them shot back. You know what I mean? So you ain't gonna tell a man shoot up the car and then tell your homie and make sure you shoot back at the car. You know what I mean? A lot of stuff don't make no sense. But it's these conspiracy theorists, man. They make up, you know what I mean? They run with it.
This is very delicate, but this is what we call a Joker moment. This is a Joker moment. This is nothing we never heard before. This is a Joker moment.
A Joker,
I know it's sensitive. I know it's sensitive.
For sure.
So Suge got shot in the head, stomach. His people shot back. So we could erase that rumor, right?
For sure, definitely.
And I'm not gonna go there, right? Because that's a different that's a whole different thing. So when you see these movies of who killed Biggie, who killed Tupac, are they even accurate or a little bit accurate when you watch it? Do you say like, yo, that's how it went down? Or you like, yo, this is some bullshit?
Man, definitely, I would say 90% of that joint, you know what I mean? These documentary, it's inaccurate, you know what I mean? You know the movie LT, my man, let me shout out LT because I see him, he's on here too, man. LT is the one that did the Pop movie. And when I first seen the Pop movie, and I told LT, because I spoke to LT maybe 2-3 months ago, and I told him I'm gonna go check it out again. You know what I mean? Because I was telling him I wasn't really feeling the movie. I said, but I'll go check it out, because when I walked in the movie theater to watch it, I already was biased. Like, you know what? It's gonna be whack. I ain't really feeling it. So I told LT I'm gonna go check it out again, and he explained to me where he got the stories from and, you know, things to do it. But from what I seen, majority of them joints is inaccurate. You know what I mean? Majority of them joints is inaccurate. The movie, like LT told me, he tried to show another side of Pop. You know what I mean? There were some things in the movie I didn't agree with that I told LT. You know what I mean? Like, he had scenes where it was like Suge was punking Pop. I said, that ain't never happened. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, Suge ain't never talked down on Pop and things like that. Their relationship was good, but Pop ain't having that anyway.
This is the type of
so it was some stuff.
So it must,
you know what I mean?
It must have been, I mean, hey, Suge Knight in jail. He was a bad guy. But it must have been hard being him, hearing all these kind of rumors and all this fuck shit going on with, and movies that was inaccurate, when he knew that him and Pac was brothers. I want to ask you a question. Not so direct, but do you think Pac was killed by a gang member or by something other than a gang member?
You know, from what we know, it seems
you
like
Saudi
it was in the hands
Arabia.
of a
I
gang
can't
member.
talk shit like that. You in Saudi, you good. You in Saudi. I'm asking you.
I'm good.
I'm asking you.
I'm back in LA every summer though.
I know. I'm saying. So all right. So I'm saying I'm not specifically saying. I'm saying, do you believe he was killed by a gang member or another force of energy? I mean, I'm trying.
You know, I get you. I definitely, you know, from what we know, it was definitely a gang member. You know what I mean? The involvement, but ain't no telling who be behind the scenes and who working with who. You know what I mean? Like Malcolm X. You know who killed Malcolm X, but then they start saying some other things behind it. You know what I mean?
Man, it's so crazy.
We don't know.
You so Muslim, you move out to the Holy Land, Saudi Arabia, and now they got a new documentary that's saying the Muslims from Newark killed Malcolm X.
No, I seen it. You know what I mean? I seen it. You know what I mean?
What you thought about
crazy,
that,
man.
Malcolm X? Who killed? But anyway,
I think you know what I mean.
This another Joker moment. Napoleon, Pac's right-hand man, said he believes it to be another gang member, him and everybody in LA. I didn't know that. People always telling me that because he spoke so much consciousness, they think them boys did that. Like, so
you never know if them boys probably knew it was gonna happen. They probably made it easier to happen. You know what I mean? But
sure, they watch,
you know,
they watch shit like that happen all the time.
Yeah, they let it happen, man. They been having phone taps. You know what I mean? They been following Death Row. They been had the phone taps. So I'm sure they knew what was gonna happen. You know what I mean? And they probably could have stopped it if they wanted to.
The other day, I listened to Changes by Pac and all this shit. You know, it's a pandemic. We ain't never have like 100 years. This shit ain't happened, and then everything that's going on. They killed George Floyd and Aubrey, and you know, it's a real emotional time. And then the Changes came on, and I listened, and you know, I felt like my eyes got watery because you know, I like Pac for the gangster records, but that one really hit me when I heard it because it felt like he was a prophet, like he was talking about times like now.
It was ahead of his time. You know what I mean? His music was, you know what I mean? He spoke about these things that it wasn't cool for rappers. Like Pac had that street image, and it wasn't cool for rappers to talk about these things back then. You know what I mean? But that was more Pac roots. You know what I mean? His roots and his origin that came from the Black Panther was really doing these conscious raps. You know what I mean? That's where he came from. That's why even Changes is before he even went to Death Row. They just put it out later. You know what I mean? But if people look at Pac history, he started off with that type of music. His music started changing. And he said it himself when he got shot. You know what I mean? The lady said that he raped her. He started feeling anger. And that's when he started doing these fouls and blacking out. But his music was always conscious, always trying to uplift the people, always trying to have a positive message in it. You know what I mean? To the best of his ability.
Yeah, I never believed Pac raped her. I'm keeping it a
course
buck.
not.
I don't want ladies to get mad at me, the Me Too, whatever. I don't know. I never believed that.
The evidence was there. The evidence was there, man. He definitely didn't do that. You know what I mean?
So you think they took it out on him, like everything else he was doing, like OJ. OJ
they
might
want
did this shit. OJ might listen. Chances are OJ did that shit. I'm keeping it a buck, right?
You just gave me a joke. I gave
you a Joker moment. Listen, OJ, right? But listen, So
Yeah.
he wins the most historical case. He's supposed to move to Saudi Arabia, Africa, even the Bahamas, man. Like,
he should have got out.
You're not supposed to be flirting with the white people. Like OJ was walking in white restaurants after that, and after that, he's OJ. And
he was doing the most. He was doing definitely doing the most.
Go. Like yo. And if I said the craziest shit I ever seen. First of all, OJ wound up going to jail for something he didn't do. Right? So
bro.
Let me get to the OJ, right?
Yeah.
OJ went to get his shit back that somebody stole from him.
Oh man.
And he go and get the shit they stole from him. And so they say he was kidnapping the guy. All that shit was bullshit. Right?
Yeah, they set him up, bro. He should have knew that. He should have seen that coming, man.
But the craziest shit is the lady judge from OJ's court case. I'll never forget. We waiting for the verdict. They got it on CNN. She comes in drinking a Starbucks, right? So OJ's guilty already of sentencing. He don't fuck. Yeah. You know you don't fucked up, right? You know you don't fucked up, right? Like he's sitting there like, okay, all right, I'm guilty. Are they gonna give me a normal 2 years? Are they gonna blame me? She went up in there, she was saying, she never even looked at him. I never forget this. It was the scariest shit in the world. I'm looking at the sentencing. She comes in with a Starbucks, a big one, like an extra large. She sipped it. In the case of Orenthal, this and that, 31 years. Okay, everything is like, yo, she didn't she was like, oh, recess is over. 31 years, 31 years for getting his own shit back.
Yeah, they set him up, man. He should have.
And the same thing, and the same thing,
a speeding ticket, man.
The same thing happened with Pac. Pac shot the cop down there. He was getting away with too much, and they found a way to jam him up.
We know that that's exactly what happened. You know what I mean? That's exactly what happened. Pac was wild. You know, he kept beating these cases. You know, once they want you and they want to get you, they're gonna get you. You know what I mean? And they try to make an example out of him. You know what I mean? And that's why you see his music went from positive to angry. And he said it. He's like, look, man, I was doing my music for black people. I never would expect to be shot by my own people. I was doing music for black women, brown women. I never expect a woman to convince me and make a lie up and say, you know what I mean, that I raped her. You know what I mean? So that's when he started getting angry. It was before he went to death row. You know what I mean? It was just, you know what I mean, a pattern of things, bro.